Sign them. Divorce papers. Right after she delivered Quadruplets. Nola's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Blood still soaked through the hospital gown. 4 babies screaming in plastic boxes behind her. She couldn't feel her legs yet from the epidural, and Damien stood there with a pen. You serious right now? Her voice cracked. He didn't blink. Sign it. The room smelled like iron and disinfectant. Machines beeped. A nurse froze in the doorway, then backed out slowly like she'd walked into a crime scene. Nola's vision blurred, not from tears, from exhaustion. 36 hours of labor. Emergency C-section. For babies. And this. Damien's mother stood by the window, arms crossed, lips tight. That woman never smiled unless someone was suffering. Today she looked satisfied. You'll get nothing, his mother said. Cold. Factual. The house stays with us. The cars. Everything. Nola tried to sit up. Pain ripped through her abdomen. She gasped, fell back against the pillow. One of the babies, she didn't even know which one yet, wailed louder. The sound sliced her chest open worse than any scalpel. Damien. She reached for him. Please. He stepped back. That's when she saw her. Leaning against the doorframe like she belonged there. Leora. Perfect hair. Perfect skin. Perfect smile that didn't reach her eyes. She wore Damien's jacket. The leather one Nola bought him last Christmas with money she didn't have. Did Nola see this coming, or was love making her blind the whole time? Something inside Nola snapped, not into rage, into clarity. She stopped reaching. Stopped begging. Her hand fell to the bedsheet, fingers curling into the fabric. You planned this, Nola whispered. You waited until I couldn't run. Damien's jaw tightened. Guilt? No. Annoyance. Like she was making this harder than it needed to be. You're emotional right now, he said. Flat. Rehearsed. Sign the papers. We'll handle the kids later. Handle the kids. Like they were furniture. Nola's eyes moved to the plastic bassinets. 4 tiny bodies wrapped in white blankets. They looked so fragile. So impossibly small. 2 boys, 2 girls. She'd counted their fingers during those brief seconds before the nurses whisked them away for tests. 10 perfect fingers each. 40 reasons to keep breathing. You don't want them? Her voice came out hollow. Leora and I are building something new, Damien said. Clean slate. His mother nodded. You trapped him with this pregnancy. For babies? Nobody does that naturally. You manipulated him. Nola laughed. It hurt. Everything hurt. Manipulated? I worked 2 jobs while you sat in that big house spending his money. I paid for his car. His clothes. His... Enough. Damien slammed the papers on her lap. Sign it or I'll make this ugly. The pen rolled onto the blanket. Black ink. Standard divorce agreement. She didn't need to read it. The terms were obvious. He walks away clean, she drowns. Leora smiled wider now. She'd won. Or thought she did. Nola picked up the pen. Her hand steadied. Damien relaxed. Mistake. His mother uncrossed her arms. Bigger mistake. They thought broken meant defeated. She signed it. Fast. Smooth. Each letter precise. Damien grabbed the papers, checked the signature, exhaled relief. Finally. Some maturity. Nola's eyes locked on his. No tears. No begging. Just something dark and patient swimming behind her gaze. Get out, she said. He left. Leora followed. His mother lingered at the door, victory souring slightly under Nola's stare. When they were gone, Nola pressed the call button. A nurse rushed in. I need to hold my babies, Nola said. All 4. They brought them one by one. Warm weight against her chest. Tiny heartbeats syncing with hers. She counted their breaths. Memorized their faces. You're going to be fine, she whispered to them. To herself. We're all going to be fine. But the way she said it, calm, controlled, certain, didn't sound like hope. It sounded like a promise. And promises, unlike vows, don't break. He used to hold her hand when the world broke, until the day he stopped. 3 years earlier, Damien kissed her in the rain. Stupid romantic movie stuff. Nola laughed so hard she cried. He said he'd never let go. She believed him. Back then he worked at his uncle's auto shop. Came home with grease under his nails and dreams bigger than their tiny apartment. Nola didn't care about the grease. She'd wash his shirts by hand, kiss his forehead, tell him they'd make it. "One day I'm gonna buy you a house," he'd say. "I don't need a house," she'd whisper back. "I just need you." He meant it then. She knew he did. Nola worked mornings at the diner, nights cleaning office buildings. 6 days a week. Sometimes 7. Damien's paychecks barely covered rent, so she covered everything else. Groceries, bills, his car insurance when it lapsed. She never complained. Never threw it in his face. Love wasn't supposed to be a transaction. Then his uncle died. Left Damien the whole business. Suddenly money came easier. New clients. Bigger contracts. Damien started wearing button-up shirts instead of coveralls. Started talking about investments and opportunities. Started bringing his mother around. Vivian. That's what she made everyone call her. Not Mom. Not Mrs. Reeves. Vivian. Like she was royalty. "This place is quaint," Vivian said the first time she visited. Her eyes scanned their apartment like it had a disease. "Damien, darling, you can't build an empire from a shoebox." Nola smiled. "Tried to. We're saving up. It's temporary." Vivian's gaze slid over her. Slow. Judging. "Temporary. Yes. Some things are." Damien laughed it off. But something shifted that day. Small. Almost invisible. He didn't defend Nola. Didn't say, "Mom, stop." Just laughed and changed the subject. Was this the moment everything started crumbling, or was it already broken? Weeks passed. Vivian kept visiting. Always comments. Always suggestions. "Damien needs someone who understands business. Networking. Image. Your wife is lovely, but does she even know how to host a dinner party? Family legacy matters, son. Think about your children. What kind of mother do you want raising them?" Nola heard it all. Vivian never whispered. Didn't need to. She wanted Nola to hear. Damien started staying late at the shop. Said he was building the business. Came home smelling like expensive cologne Nola didn't buy. She asked once. He snapped. "You don't trust me now? After everything I'm doing for us?" But it didn't feel like us anymore. Nola picked up a third job. Weekend catering gigs. She wanted to prove she could fit into his new world. Wore herself down to nothing trying to be enough. One night she came home at midnight. Exhausted. Feet bleeding from cheap heels she wore to serve rich people food she couldn't afford. Damien sat on the couch with his laptop. Didn't look up. "Hey," she said. "Rough night. Made good tips though." "Nothing." "Damien?" He closed the laptop. Stood up. Looked at her like she was a stranger. "You're always working," he said. She blinked. "I'm working for us. For the house you wanted. For..." "I don't need you to work yourself to death, Nola. I need you to be present. My mother's right. You're never around anymore." Her chest tightened. "I'm never around? You haven't touched me in 2 months. You don't talk to me. You barely look at me. Because you're always tired. Always stressed. I need a partner, not a martyr." The words hit like fists. She stood there, bleeding feet, empty pockets, and he called her a martyr. "I'm doing this for you," she whispered. "I didn't ask you to." Silence swallowed the room. He grabbed his keys. "Where are you going?" "Out. I need space." He left. Didn't kiss her goodbye. Didn't say when he'd be back. Nola sat on the floor. Took off her heels. Stared at the blisters. The blood. The proof of her love. And for the first time she wondered if love was supposed to hurt this much. Outside, Damien's car engine faded into the night. Inside, something between them faded too. She just didn't know it was already gone. For babies. For chances. And yet, it wouldn't save her. Nola stared at the ultrasound screen. 4 tiny blips. 4 heartbeats flickering like stars. Quadruplets, the doctor said, smiling. Extremely rare. 1 in 700,000 pregnancies. Nola couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. For babies. For lives growing inside her. "Is she okay?" the nurse asked. Nola nodded. Tears streamed down her face. Happy tears. terrified tears. She didn't know which. The doctor printed the ultrasound photos. 4 tiny shapes in black and white. Nola held them like they were made of glass. Maybe this was it. Maybe this would bring him back. For babies. A real family. He couldn't walk away from this. She drove home fast, hands shaking on the wheel. Practiced what she'd say. Imagined his face lighting up. Imagined him holding her again. Choosing her again. Damien's car sat in the driveway. He was home early for once. She burst through the door. Damien. I have news. He wasn't alone. Leora sat on their couch. Drinking wine from their glasses. Her legs crossed. Comfortable. Too comfortable. Oh, Leora said. Didn't move. You're home early. Nola's smile died. What's she doing here? Damien stood up. Casual. Unbothered. Leora's helping with the business. We're reviewing contracts. No papers on the table. Just wine. Did Nola just walk into her worst nightmare, or was she living in it all along? I need to talk to you, Nola said. Eyes on Damien. Only Damien. Alone. Leora sipped her wine. Slow. Deliberate. I'll wait in the car, babe. Babe. Damien didn't correct her. Leora walked past Nola. Shoulder bumped hers. Not an accident. Her perfume choked the air. Expensive. The kind Nola couldn't afford. The door clicked shut. You let her call you that? Nola's voice cracked. It's just a word, Nola. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic. She was pregnant and he called her dramatic. She shoved the ultrasound photos at him. Look. He took them. Glanced down. Frowned. What am I looking at? Our babies. 4 of them. Quadruplets. Silence. Heavy. Wrong. His face didn't light up. Didn't soften. Just froze. 4? He repeated. Yes. Isn't it amazing? We're having. How's that even possible? He dropped the photos on the counter. Did you do fertility treatments? What? No. Just happened. The doctor said it's rare but convenient timing. Her stomach turned. Convenient? My business just took off. Now suddenly you're pregnant with 4 kids. His eyes went cold. You planned this. Planned? Damien, I didn't. 4 babies, Nola. 4. You know what that costs? Diapers. Food. Clothes. College. He laughed. Bitter. Mean. You trapped me. The room tilted. She grabbed the counter. I didn't trap you. I didn't even know this could happen. My mother warned me about this. Of course. Vivian. As if summoned, the front door opened. Vivian walked in without knocking. Never knocked. Acted like she owned the place. I heard shouting, Vivian said. Smiled. Everything all right? Damien handed her the ultrasound photos. She's pregnant. With 4. Vivian's smile stretched wider. 4. My goodness. How ambitious. It's not ambitious, Nola said, voice shaking. It's a miracle. Miracle. Vivian laughed. Set the photos down like they were trash. Darling, miracles don't come with price tags. For babies? You'll bleed him dry. They're his children. Are they? Vivian's eyes narrowed. You've been working so much. Gone all hours. Who knows what you've been doing? Nola's jaw dropped. You think I cheated? I think timing is suspect. Mom, Damien started. She's manipulating you, son. Can't you see? First she works herself to exhaustion making you feel guilty. Now 4 babies to lock you down forever. Vivian stepped closer. You deserve better than this trap. Nola looked at Damien. Waited for him to defend her. To say something. Anything. He said nothing. If you keep them, Vivian continued, you'll live in this shoebox forever. Drowning in debt. Baby screaming. No life. No future. She touched Damien's shoulder. Is that what you want? Damien stared at the floor. Damien, Nola whispered. Please. Tell her she's wrong. He looked up. Met her eyes. And she saw it. The decision already made. I need time to think, he said. Time to think. About their babies. About her. About them. Vivian smiled. Victory. Nola picked up the ultrasound photos. Held them to her chest. Take all the time you need, she said quietly. But she already knew. Time wouldn't change anything. He'd already chosen. And it wasn't her. They told her, one signature and your family is nothing. The contraction started at 2 a.m. Nola called Damien 6 times. Voicemail. Every time. She drove herself to the hospital, gripping the steering wheel, breathing through the pain. Alone. Labor lasted 36 hours. Her body splitting apart. Nurses held her hands because nobody else would. The doctor said it had to be a C-section. Too dangerous. For babies. Emergency. They cut her open on a cold table under bright lights. She heard them cry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful sounds. Proof she'd done something right. Then darkness pulled her under. Anesthesia. Blood loss. Exhaustion. When she woke up, Damien stood beside her bed. Relief flooded through her. You came. He didn't smile. We need to talk. His mother stood by the window. Arms crossed. That look on her face. The one that said someone was about to suffer. Where are my babies? Nola's voice scratched her throat raw. In the NICU. They're fine. Damien pulled papers from inside his jacket. Thick stack. Official looking. You need to sign these. She blinked. Head foggy. Body screaming. What? Divorce papers. The machines beeped faster. Her heart rate spiking on the monitor. You're joking. I'm not. He set the papers on her lap. Black ink. Legal words. Her name printed at the bottom with a blank line. Could this really be happening, or was this some kind of cruel nightmare? Damien, I just gave birth. Our babies. My lawyer drew these up last week, he said. Flat. Emotionless. You get nothing. No house. No car. No support. Sign it and we're done clean. Nola's hands trembled. She tried sitting up. Pain exploded through her stomach. The incision felt like fire. She gasped. Fell back. You can't do this. Not now. Not. You trapped me. His voice rose. For babies? You think I wanted this? You think I wanted to be tied down to someone like you forever? Someone like you. The door opened. Leora walked in. Confident. Heels clicking on the tile floor. She wore a red dress. Makeup perfect. She looked at Nola like she was dirt. Is it done? Leora asked Damien. He shook his head. She's being difficult. Of course she is. Leora moved closer. Looked down at Nola with fake pity. Sweetie, just sign. Make this easy on yourself. You're embarrassing. Nola's vision blurred. Not from tears. From rage. Pure burning rage. You brought her here? Nola whispered. To this? To our? There is no our. Damien cut her off. There never was. I settled. You were convenient. Now you're not. Vivian stepped forward. Sign the papers, girl. You have no legal standing. No money for a lawyer. No family to help you. For babies and no income? She smiled. Cold. Cruel. You'll be begging on streets within a month. Sign now, at least you'll have your dignity. Dignity. They took everything and called it dignity. One of the babies cried in the distance. Nola's milk came in. Wet spots appeared on her hospital gown. Physical reminder of what she'd just been through. What she'd just created. Damien looked away. Disgusted. Leora wrinkled her nose. Vivian's smile grew. The nurse from earlier peeked in. Saw what was happening. Her face went pale. She backed out quickly. Didn't interfere. Couldn't. Sign it, Damien said again. He dropped a pen on the sheets. Or I'll make sure you never see those kids again. I'll bury you in court. My mother has connections. Lawyers. Judges. You'll lose everything. Nola's hand moved toward the pen. Slowly. Every movement hurt. Every breath hurt. She picked it up. Damien relaxed. Victory in his eyes. Vivian uncrossed her arms. Leora's smile widened. They thought broken meant beaten. Nola signed it. Each letter careful. Precise. Her hand didn't shake anymore. Damien grabbed the papers. Checked the signature. Exhaled. Finally. Some sense. He turned to leave. Leora linked her arm through his. Vivian followed. At the door, Damien paused. Look back. Someone will bring the babies by later. Figure out what you're doing with them. Then they left. The room went quiet except for machines beeping and distant baby cries. Nola stared at the ceiling. Blood still seeping through bandages. Body destroyed. Life shattered. But her eyes burned with something dark and patient. She pressed the call button. Different nurse came in. I need my babies, Nola said. Voice steady now. Come. All four. Now. They brought them. One by one. Warm weight against her chest. She counted their fingers. Memorized their faces. Made silent promises. And smiled. Not a happy smile. A dangerous one. She had nothing. No home, no support. Only 4 tiny hearts depending on her. The hospital discharged her after 3 days. Insurance wouldn't cover more. The nurse wheeled her out with all 4 babies packed in a cart. People stared. Whispered. Pointed. 4 babies. Where's the father? Poor thing. All alone. How's she gonna manage? Nola didn't answer. Just loaded each baby into the car seats a charity donated. 4 tiny bodies. 1 broken woman. No plan. She drove to the only place she could afford. A motel on the edge of town. $40 a night. 1 room. 1 bed. Stained carpet. Bathroom door didn't lock. But it had a roof. The babies cried in rotation. One stopped, another started. Nola learned to feed 2 at once. Bottles propped on rolled towels. Her hands shook from exhaustion. Her incisions still bled through the bandages. She named them that first night. Alone in that motel room. Isra. Sienna. Callan. Meh. 4 names. 4 reasons to survive. How does someone raise 4 babies alone when the world wants you to fail? Sleep became a memory. Nola caught 20-minute naps between feedings. The babies needed bottles every 2 hours. Diapers every hour. 4 times everything. 4 times the work. 4 times the cost. Her savings died in 2 weeks. Diapers weren't cheap. Formula even worse. She called her old jobs. The diner hired her back for morning shifts. She brought the babies. Strapped them in carriers while she served coffee and eggs. Customers complained about the crying. Her boss pulled her aside. Nola, I love you. But this isn't working. Please. I need this job. He looked at the babies. 4 little faces. Then at her. Dark circles under her eyes. Uniform hanging loose because she forgot to eat. 1 more week, he said. Find childcare or I gotta let you go. Childcare cost more than she made. She tried applying for assistance. Stood in line at the welfare office for 6 hours. Baby screaming. Other people glaring. Finally reached the window. You're not eligible, the woman said. Your ex-husband makes too much money. He left us. He's not paying anything. Doesn't matter. Still legally married at time of birth. His income counts. The system buried her before she could breathe. Nights got darker. Nola fed the babies. Changed them. Rocked them. Her body screamed for rest. The incision got infected. She couldn't afford the doctor. Bought antibiotics from a guy outside a pharmacy. Hoped they were real. She sold her wedding ring. Got $50. Bought formula. One night, Ezra wouldn't stop crying. Nothing worked. Nola walked the motel room. Bouncing him. Shushing him. 2 a.m. 3 a.m. 4 a.m. She sat on the floor. Held him. Started crying too. I don't know what I'm doing, she whispered. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ezra looked up at her. Stopped crying. Just stared. Like he understood. She kissed his forehead. We're gonna make it. I promise. I don't know how. But we will. That morning she checked her email. 1 new message. Subject line, Estate of Helena Whitmore. Her grandmother. Dead 3 months ago. Nola couldn't afford the funeral. Couldn't even say goodbye. She opened the email with shaking hands. Dear Ms. Whitmore Reeves, you are the sole beneficiary. Her eyes scanned. Legal words. Complicated phrases. Then numbers. She stopped breathing. Read it again. Again. This can't be real. She called the number listed. Lawyer answered. Confirmed everything. Nola hung up. Stared at the babies sleeping in their carriers. 4 perfect faces. Her grandmother had left her everything. The house. The accounts. The investments nobody knew about. Nola didn't scream. Didn't cry. Didn't celebrate. Just smiled. That same dangerous smile from the hospital. Because Damien thought he'd destroyed her. He thought she had nothing. He was wrong. And soon he'd find out exactly how wrong. Damien smiled. He thought he had it all. 6 months after the divorce, he married Leora. Big wedding. Expensive venue. Ice sculptures. Champagne fountains. 300 guests who didn't know his first wife existed. Leora wore a dress that cost more than Nola's car. White. Sparkling. Perfect. She looked at Damien like he'd saved her from poverty. He looked at her like she was a trophy he'd won. Vivian sat front row. Dabbing fake tears. Beaming with pride. My son finally found the right woman, she told everyone. Someone worthy of our family name. Nobody mentioned the 4 babies Damien abandoned. Nobody asked where his first wife went. Nobody cared. The reception lasted until 3 a.m. Dancing. Drinking. Damien gave a speech about new beginnings and choosing happiness. People clapped. Cheered. Raised their glasses. He felt like a king. They honeymooned in Bali. 2 weeks. 5-star resorts. Private beaches. Leora posted photos every day. Her in a bikini. Him shirtless. Sunset kisses. Hashtags about real love and soulmates. The comments poured in. You two are perfect together. This is what true love looks like. So happy you found each other. Did Damien really think he could just erase his past and live guilt-free? When they returned, Damien threw a party. Housewarming. The mansion his mother bought them. 8 bedrooms. Pool. Guest house. Everything Nola never had. Leora decorated it herself. Modern. Clean. White everything. No toys. No signs of children. No reminders of the life Damien left behind. This is what success looks like, Damien told his friends. Standing in his marble kitchen. Expensive whiskey in his hand. You work hard, you make tough choices, you get rewarded. His friends nodded. Agreed. Asked for business advice. Damien's auto shop expanded. 3 locations now. He hired managers. Barely worked anymore. Just collected checks and played golf. Vivian visited constantly. Brought Leora gifts. Jewelry. Handbags. Treated her like the daughter she always wanted. You made the right choice, Vivian told Damien over dinner. That other girl would have dragged you down. Look at you now. Thriving. Damien raised his glass. To smart decisions. They clinked glasses. Laughed. Celebrated. Leora quit her job. Became a full-time housewife. Spent Damien's money like water. Shopping trips. Spa days. Lunch with friends who called her inspiring. She started a lifestyle blog. Posted about finding your worth and not settling. Never mentioned she was the mistress. Never mentioned the 4 babies she helped abandon. Her followers multiplied. Thousands. Then tens of thousands. Brands sent her free products. She became an influencer. You're famous, Damien said. Proud. Like he'd created her. We're famous, she corrected. Kissed him. We're the couple everyone wants to be. They believed it. Completely. Months passed. Damien never asked about the quadruplets. Never wondered if they were okay. Never lost sleep over what he'd done. He slept perfectly. In his king-sized bed. Egyptian cotton sheets. Climate-controlled room. At another party someone finally asked. A drunk cousin. Loud mouth. Hey, didn't you have kids with your first wife? The room went quiet. Damien's smile didn't fade. That situation resolved itself. We all moved on. Resolved itself. Like the babies were a problem that fixed itself. Leora squeezed his hand. Supportive. United front. Some people aren't meant to be parents, she said sweetly. It's better this way. Everyone nodded. Agreed. Moved on to other topics. Damien felt untouchable. Above consequences. above Karma. That night he stood on his balcony, overlooking the city, lights sparkling below, Leora inside making cocktails, his mother in the guest house, his business thriving, his life perfect. I made it, he whispered to himself. I actually made it. He felt no guilt, no regret, no fear, just pride. Somewhere across town, Nola sat in her grandmother's house. Baby's finally asleep. Laptop open. Bank statements on the screen. Numbers that would make Damien choke. She closed the laptop, smiled. Tomorrow everything changes. But Damien didn't know that. He stood on his balcony sipping whiskey, believing he'd won. Believing he was safe. He wasn't. Everything he owned suddenly answered to her. Nola sat across from her grandmother's lawyer. Mr. Chin. Old man. Kind eyes. He slid a folder across the mahogany desk. Your grandmother was a remarkable woman, he said. Very strategic. Very patient. Nola opened the folder. Pages of documents. Numbers. Property deeds. Stock certificates. I don't understand, she whispered. Mr. Chin smiled. Your grandmother owned more than anyone knew. She lived simply. Invested quietly. Built an empire in silence. He pointed to a specific page. This is yours now. All of it. Nola's eyes scanned the numbers. Her heart stopped. That can't be right. It's right. Mr. Chin leaned forward. 12 million in liquid assets. 4 commercial properties. Stock portfolios worth another 8 million. He paused. And this. He pulled out another document. Nola read it. Read it again. Her hands started shaking. She owned the building? Nola's voice cracked. The entire plaza. Where your ex-husband's main auto shop operates. Mr. Chen's smile grew. She bought it 15 years ago. Been collecting rent from multiple businesses ever since. Including his. Nola couldn't breathe. He pays me rent? Paid your grandmother. Now pays you. Has a 5-year lease. Signed it 8 months ago. Mr. Chin tapped the contract. Personally guaranteed by Damian Reeves. If he defaults or violates terms, you can terminate immediately. Could karma really be this perfect, or was this grandmother's plan all along? Nola's mind raced. Damian expanded to that location 6 months after leaving her. His biggest shop. His pride. The one he showed off to everyone. He was paying her family the whole time. Didn't even know it. There's more, Mr. Chin said. Pulled out another file. Your grandmother also invested in a venture capital fund. That fund holds shares in multiple businesses throughout the city. He showed her the list. Nola's eyes stopped on one name. The bank? She owned shares in First National? 23%. Enough to influence decisions. Loan approvals. Credit lines. Mr. Chen's expression stayed neutral, but his eyes sparkled. Your ex-husband refinanced his business through First National last year. Large loan. Very large. The pieces clicked together. Nola's grandmother had built a web. Connected everything. Left it all for Nola. Like she knew. Like she'd planned this. Why didn't she tell me? Nola whispered. She said you'd know when you needed it. Mr. Chin closed the folders. She left you a letter. Private. I wasn't allowed to read it. He handed her a sealed envelope. Helena's handwriting on the front. For my Nola. When you're ready to rise. Nola's hands trembled opening it. The letter was short. My darling girl. If you're reading this, someone broke you. Probably a man. Probably that boy you married. I saw him. Saw through him. Weak. Controlled by his mother. I knew he'd fail you. So I built you a kingdom. Invisible. Patient. Waiting. You're not a victim. You're a queen who just didn't know where her throne was. Now you know. Make them remember your name. Love, Grandma Helena. Tears hit the paper. Nola wiped them quickly. Mr. Chin gave her privacy. Stepped out of the office. Nola sat alone. Surrounded by documents proving she wasn't helpless. Wasn't broken. Wasn't defeated. She pulled out her phone. Looked up Damien's business. Read recent articles. Reeves Auto expanding third location. Securing additional funding. He needed money. More loans. More credit. All controlled by institutions her grandmother had influence over. Nola opened her laptop. Logged into the property management portal. Saw Damien's lease agreement. Every term. Every clause. Every way he could violate it. She saw his loan documents. The collateral. His house. His cars. Everything tied to debt. One wrong move and it all collapsed. And she controlled the buttons. Nola's phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Saw your grandmother's obituary. Heard you inherited. Good for you. Vivian. Even now poisonous. Nola didn't respond. Just smiled. She opened a notebook. Started writing. Names. Connections. Strategies. Not revenge. Strategy. Not anger. Justice. She worked through the night. Baby sleeping upstairs. Plans forming on paper. By morning she knew exactly what to do. Damien thought he'd escaped. Thought he was safe in his mansion with his new wife and his mother's approval. He had no idea his entire empire was built on land Nola now owned. No idea his loans were tied to banks she influenced. No idea the ground beneath him was already crumbling. Nola closed the notebook. Tomorrow she'd make her first move. Quiet. Careful. Devastating. And Damien would never see it coming. She didn't yell. She didn't explain. She made him disappear. The first domino fell on a Tuesday morning. Damien walked into his main shop. The big one. The pride of his business. Found a notice taped to the door. Lease violation. 30-day notice to vacate. His manager stood there. Panicked. Boss, I don't understand. We paid rent. We're current on everything. Damien ripped the notice down. Read it. Section 7, paragraph 3. Unauthorized structural modifications. What modifications? He shouted. The expansion last month. We knocked out that wall for the new bay. We got approval for that. From the old landlord. New ownership says we needed written permission. We didn't get it. Damien's blood went cold. New ownership? Who? The manager handed him another paper. Transfer of property deed. Owner? Nola Whitmore. Damien's ex-wife. His hand shook. This is a mistake. This is. His phone rang. The bank. First National. Mr. Reeves, we need to discuss your loan. What about it? There's been a board review. Your debt-to-income ratio is concerning. We're calling the loan. 60 days to pay in full or we seize collateral. You can't do that. I'm current. I haven't missed a payment. It's within our rights. You'll receive official notice today. The line went dead. Damien called his lawyer. Voicemail. Called again. Still voicemail. Was this really happening, or was the universe finally balancing the scales? By Wednesday, his other 2 locations got notices. Health code violations. Safety inspections failed. Permits expired. Each one legitimate. Each one fixable. But all at once? Impossible. His account started freezing. Vendors stopped delivering. His best mechanics quit, got better offers elsewhere. Offers that came from a newly opened shop across town. Better pay. Better benefits. Damien drove there. Saw the sign. Whitmore Automotive. Family owned. Nola's face on the billboard. Professional. Smiling. Next to her, the Quadruplets. Now 1-year-old. Healthy. Happy. The tagline, building families, not just engines. Damien wanted to scream. Wanted to smash something. Instead, his phone rang again. Leora. We need to talk, she said. Cold. Different. Not now. I'm dealing with. I'm leaving you. Silence. What? I'm leaving. My lawyer's sending papers. Leora, what are you talking about? I didn't sign up for this. Broke. Struggling. That's not the life I wanted. Her voice turned sharp. I married you for success. You're not successful anymore. You're a failure. I'm not broke. This is temporary. Someone's sabotaging. I don't care. She hung up. Just like that. Gone. Damien drove to his mother's house. Vivian would help. She always helped. The gate was locked. He buzzed. No answer. Buzzed again. Finally, the intercom crackled. "Mom, it's me. Let me in. I'm not home. Your car's in the driveway." Silence. Then, "Damien, I can't be associated with failure. It's bad for my reputation. Fix your problems. Then call me." The intercom went dead. His own mother abandoned him. Everything collapsed in 2 weeks. The shops closed. The loans defaulted. The bank seized his house, his cars, everything. Damien moved into a cheap apartment. 1 bedroom, stained carpet, broken AC, just like the place Nola started with the babies. He sat on the floor. Empty apartment. No furniture. No wife. No mother. No business. His phone buzzed. Email. From Nola's lawyer. Child support claim filed. 4 children. 18 years. Court date attached. Damien laughed. Bitter. Broken. She'd destroyed him without saying a word. Without confronting him. Without even seeing him. Just quiet moves. Strategic. Precise. Devastating. Across town, Nola tucked the quadruplets into bed. Read them stories. Kissed their foreheads. Her phone showed a news alert. Local businessman files bankruptcy. She closed it. Didn't smile. Didn't celebrate. Just felt peaceful. Justice wasn't loud. Wasn't dramatic. Sometimes it was just watching karma finally catch up. She turned off the light. Walked downstairs. Poured. Sat in silence. Tomorrow she'd focus on the kids. Their future. Their happiness. Damien's destruction was complete. And she never had to lift her voice once. The quadruplets thrived, and so did she, stronger, silent, untouchable. 3 years later. Nola stood in the doorway watching Ezra, Sienna, Callan, and Maeve play in the backyard. 3 years old now. Running. Laughing. Fighting over toys like normal kids. They didn't remember the hospital. Didn't remember the motel. Didn't remember their father walking away. Good. They shouldn't. "Mama, look." Sienna held up a flower. Dandelion. Yellow and perfect. Nola knelt down. "It's beautiful, baby." "Like you," Sienna said. Kissed her cheek. Ran off giggling. Nola's chest tightened. The good kind of tight. Her phone buzzed. Text from her assistant. "Quarterly numbers are in. Whitmore Automotive up 340% from last year. Forbes wants an interview." Nola typed back. "Schedule it for next week. 3 locations now. 50 employees. Best customer ratings in the state." She built it slow. Careful. No shortcuts. No debt. Just smart decisions and hard work. The business her ex-husband destroyed? She rebuilt it better. Stronger. Without his name attached. Could anyone have predicted that the woman left with nothing would build an empire? She walked inside. The house, her grandmother's house, felt like home now. Pictures on every wall. The kids' artwork covering the fridge. Toys scattered on the floor. Messy. Loud. Perfect. Her phone rang. "Mr. Chin." "Nola, the trust fund documents are ready. Each child gets access at 18. Full distribution at 25. "How much?" she asked. 2 million each. Plus education accounts fully funded. College, graduate school, whatever they need. Nola closed her eyes. Exhaled. "Thank you. Your grandmother would be proud." She hoped so. Hoped Helena could see this. See her grandkids thriving. See Nola surviving. That evening, Nola cooked dinner. Nothing fancy. Spaghetti. Garlic bread. The kids helped. Mostly just made a mess. "Mama, why don't we have a daddy?" Callan asked suddenly. Nola's hands stilled on the pot. She prepared for this question. Practiced her answer. "Some families have daddies. Some don't. We have each other. That's what matters. But other kids have different families. Ours is special because we chose to be strong together." She looked at all 4 of them. "You have me. I have you. That's enough." Ezra nodded. "You're better than a daddy anyway." Maeve agreed. "Yeah. You're a mama and a daddy." Sienna just hugged her leg. Callan thought about it. Shrugged. "Okay." Went back to playing. Just like that. Kids moved on. Accepted. Adapted. Later, after baths and bedtime stories, Nola sat alone in the living room. Glass of wine. Silence. She thought about Damien sometimes. Wondered where he was. What he was doing. She'd heard rumors. Living with his mother again. Working as a mechanic for someone else. Divorced from Leora. Alone. Part of her felt satisfaction. The part that remembered him handing her divorce papers while she bled. But mostly, she felt nothing. He didn't matter anymore. Didn't occupy space in her mind. Didn't steal her peace. She'd won. Not because she destroyed him, but because she built something better without him. Her phone lit up. Message from an unknown number. "I'm sorry." That's all it said. She stared at it. Knew who sent it. Damien. Had to be. Her finger hovered over the keyboard. 1,000 responses ran through her mind. Angry ones. Cruel ones. Satisfying ones. Instead, she deleted the message. Blocked the number. Didn't respond. Didn't acknowledge. Didn't give him the closure he wanted. Some people didn't deserve responses. Some people didn't deserve forgiveness. Some people just needed to live with what they'd done. Nola finished her wine. Checked on the kids one more time. All 4 sleeping peacefully. Safe. Secure. She'd done it. Survived the worst. Built the best. Tomorrow she'd wake up and do it again. And the day after. And the day after. Because that's what mothers do. What survivors do. What warriors do. They keep going. They keep winning. And they never look back. Did he deserve it? Or was silence the cruelest justice of all? 5 years after the hospital. Nola sat on her porch. Coffee in hand. Sunrise painting the sky orange and pink. The quadruplets played in the yard. 5 years old now. Kindergarten next month. Ezra built towers with blocks. Sienna painted rocks. Callan chased butterflies. Maeve read picture books. Different personalities. Different dreams. All hers. A car pulled up. Slow. Hesitant. Old sedan. Dented bumper. Nothing like the luxury cars Damien used to drive. He stepped out. Nola didn't move. Just watched. Damien looked older. Tired. Thinner. Gray hair at his temples. Lines around his eyes that weren't there before. He stood at the end of her driveway. Didn't come closer. Like he knew he wasn't allowed. "Nola," he called out. Voice cracking. She sipped her coffee. Said nothing. I wanted to see them. The kids. I don't need to talk to them. Just see them." The quadruplets didn't notice him. Too busy playing. Too happy to care about a stranger at the end of the driveway. "Please," Damien whispered. 5 minutes. Nola stood up. Walked to the edge of the porch. Still didn't speak. Was staying silent the ultimate power move, or was there something cruel about it? Damien's eyes filled with tears. "I know I don't deserve anything. I know what I did. I live with it every day." His voice broke. "I lost everything. My business. My wife. My mother won't talk to me. I work 60 hours a week just to afford rent." Nola's face stayed blank. Unreadable. "You destroyed me," he continued. "And you had every right to. I destroyed you first." He wiped his eyes. "But those kids, they're mine too. I know I walked away. I know I signed papers. But they're still mine." Sienna laughed at something Callan said. The sound carried across the yard. Pure. Innocent. Beautiful. Damien's face crumpled. "They don't even know me." "No," Nola said. First word she'd spoken. "They don't. Can I change that? Can I?" "Why?" The question hung in the air. Heavy. "Sure. Why?" Damien repeated. "Because they're my children. Because I made a mistake. Because I want to fix it." "You can't fix it." Nola's voice stayed calm. Steady. "You can't give back the nights I didn't sleep. Can't give back the days I worked 3 jobs. Can't give back the moment you handed me divorce papers while I bled." She paused. "You can't fix what you broke." "I know. But I can try. I can be better. I can." "For you or for them?" Damien froze. "Are you here because you want to be a father? Or because you're lonely and broken and need something to fix the hole in your life?" He opened his mouth. Closed it. No answer came. That's what I thought, Nola said. She turned to walk inside. Wait. Damien's voice desperate. What do I do? How do I make this right? Nola looked back. You don't. Some things don't get fixed. Some mistakes don't get second chances. You live with it. Like I had to. That's not fair. Fair? Nola almost smiled. Almost. You want to talk about fair? Damien looked at the ground. Shame covering his face. Go home, Nola said quietly. Move on. Build a different life. But these kids? They're not your redemption story. They're not your second chance. They're mine. She walked inside. Closed the door. Didn't watch him leave. Didn't need to. Inside, the kids ran up to her. Mama, who was that? Nobody important, she said. Kissed their heads. Later that night, Nola sat alone. Kids asleep upstairs. House quiet. She thought about Damien's face. The pain. The regret. The brokenness. Part of her felt satisfaction. He suffered like she suffered. But another part wondered, was silence mercy or cruelty? Was letting him see what he lost but never touch it the perfect punishment? Or was denying him the chance to change just extending the cycle of pain? She didn't know. Maybe there was no right answer. Maybe justice wasn't clean. Wasn't simple. Wasn't satisfying. Maybe it was just this. Her thriving. Him broken. The kids safe. The past buried but never forgotten. Nola closed her eyes. She'd made her choice. Right or wrong, it was hers. And she'd live with it. Just like he had to live with his.